Have you ever seen an animal with teeth growing outside its lips? Not fangs, but an entire row of teeth protruding outside the mouth. It looks like a walking animal trap. When scientists first discovered its fossil, they suspected it was two different animals pieced together because the upper body resembled a mammal, while the lower body resembled a reptile. Yet its brain was smarter than both. It was the apex predator 250 million years ago. 30 million years before the dinosaurs, it had already claimed the top of the food chain. Even more unbelievable. After paleontologists dissected its skull, they discovered that its method of chewing food was identical to the way you and I eat. Every bite you take today, you are repeating the feeding habits of an ancient monster, and this monster could bite a cow in half at any moment. It is called Tiarajudens, a name buried by history for 250 million years. After it was unearthed, it forced the entire field of paleontology to rewrite its textbooks. But before we talk about how extraordinary it was, you need to clarify one thing. Tiarajudens is not a dragon. Its name might contain the word dragon, but its relationship to dinosaurs is as distant as your relationship to a fish. It belongs to the Therapsids, the direct ancestors of mammals. You are not a descendant of dinosaurs. You are a product evolved from the lineage of Tiarajudens. This fact is more mind-blowing than any dinosaur story you can imagine. An animal nearly 2 meters long, with 4 thick, powerful legs, and a body structure between that of a lizard and a dog. It had a broad skull, deep-set eye sockets, ferocious and primitive. But what is most unforgettable is its teeth. Its canines extended directly from outside its lips, reaching several centimeters in length, like 2 sabers plunged into its face. This was not for decoration. It was a weapon honed by millions of years of precision. In 2009, in a rock lair in Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil, paleontologists excavated a remarkably well-preserved skull fossil. When the rock on the surface of the fossil was cleaned away bit by bit, the entire team fell into a silence that lasted several minutes, because what they saw completely exceeded everyone's expectations. This skull possessed 2 completely different sets of teeth. In the front, giant canines protruded outside the mouth like swords. In the back, rows of neat molars, with complex ridges on the surface, specifically designed to grind food. What shocked the scientists even more was the wear pattern on the molars. When Tiarajudens ate, it would make a lateral grinding motion, just like humans chewing food. At that time on Earth, Tiarajudens was the only one capable of this action. Scientists wrote this discovery into a paper, using a single word in the title, revolutionary. But why did Tiarajudens evolve such a complex dental system? The answer is hidden in a disaster that almost destroyed the Earth, the Permian-Triassic extinction event. 96 phanteram of marine life disappeared. 70 phanteram of terrestrial vertebrates went extinct. The Siberian traps, volcanoes erupted continuously for hundreds of thousands of years. Global temperatures soared, oceans acidified, and the entire global ecosystem collapsed completely. Surviving animals had only 2 paths: either become more ferocious and survive by preying on the survivors, or develop entirely new food sources. Tiarajudens chose the second path. It evolved a complex molar system, began to consume plants in large quantities, while retaining its massive canines to tear into prey, capable of eating both meat and grass. It became one of the earliest omnivorous terrestrial vertebrates in Earth's history. Scientists call this strategy niche expansion. While others could only eat one type of food, I could eat both. In a post-disaster world where food was extremely scarce, this flexibility was the strongest survival weapon. Can you understand now why humans are omnivores? Because our ancestor, 250 million years ago, had already paved this path for us. Tiarajudens used its teeth to plant a seed of flexibility. For the entire mammalian evolutionary branch, the social behavior of Tiarajudens also caught paleontologists by surprise. According to the fossil record, Tiarajudens was likely a social animal. Multiple fossils found in the same layer ranged in size from juvenile to adult, highly similar to the population structure of modern gregarious mammals. What is even more interesting is that the canines of Tiarajudens show clear sexual dimorphism. Male canines were longer and thicker, while the females were relatively shorter. This usually implies intense competition among males, both to compete for mates and to vie for dominance within the group. With hierarchy and competition, it had a primitive social order. 250 million years ago, this was an extremely advanced way of living. But what makes Tiarajudens most astonishing is its brain. Paleontologists used CT scans to reconstruct the brain structure of Tiarajudens, finding that its brain-to-body size ratio far exceeded that of other reptiles of the same period, and even surpassed many early animals. More importantly, in the Tiarajudens' brain, the olfactory region was exceptionally developed, allowing it to track scents, locate food, and recognize individuals of its own kind. Your dog can smell a scent from kilometers away. The origin of this ability can be traced all the way back to Tiarajudens. So, how did Tiarajudens disappear? The answer is more poignant than you imagine. It wasn't wiped out by a single catastrophe. It was replaced by its own descendants. As the Triassic period progressed, the animals that branched off from the Tiarajudens lineage became increasingly diverse. Some were smaller and more agile. Others had more efficient metabolisms. And some began evolving in the direction of true mammals. These descendants, within their respective ecological niches, were all more specialized and efficient than Tiarajudens. The jack-o'-all-trades omnivorous strategy of Tiarajudens, as the ecosystem gradually stabilized, ironically became a disadvantage. Specialists in a stable environment are always more competitive than generalists. Approximately 245 million years ago, Tiarajudens vanished without a sound. It was not a cataclysmic extinction, but rather a replacement by more advanced descendants. Its genes did not disappear. The evolutionary path it pioneered has continued to this day, extending into you and me. The story of Tiarajudens, at its core, is one of innovation and inheritance. It lived during the darkest era in Earth's history, and upon the ruins where 96 Ventarum of life had perished, it pioneered new teeth, new dietary habits, and new social structures and brains. These innovations, none were perfected in Tiarajudens, but each one was inherited by its descendants, refined generation after generation, eventually evolving into a species capable of thought, creation, and gazing up at the stars today. You are sitting here now watching this video, using your eyes to track the images, using your ears to receive the sound, and using your brain to comprehend the information. The starting point of all these abilities can be traced back to 150 million years, to that creature with two sword-like canine teeth. Its name is Tiarajudens. It is one of your most ancient ancestors, and the most important legacy it left to you is not the teeth, not the brain, but the courage to innovate in times of desperation and the ability to rebuild upon the ruins. This is the true story of Tiarajudens.